So before we get into the various operations that can done on tuple, let's understand the tuple once again. So tuple in Python is a collection of objects that are ordered and immutable. So immutable means once we create the tuple, we cannot modify the elements present inside this. And it is always represented by enclosing the values inside a parenthesis. Now let's see the various categories for creating a tuple. So if at all I want to create an empty tuple, so I just need to write down some tuple name followed by a parenthesis having no elements inside this. Similarly, suppose we are creating a single value tuple. So parentheses are optional here and it should end with a comma. Very specifically, each time you create a tuple having only one element, so writing only 10 is not going to be enough. You have to end with a comma. So either this format having parenthesis or without parenthesis also accepted. But this comma presence is compulsory. Now the third one where you are trying to create a tuple by taking multiple values where again the parentheses are optional. So either you can go by writing list of elements by separating comma without having any parenthesis, or the same can be done by keeping them inside the parenthesis. So two mathematical operators that we can apply on a tuple, that is your plus and asterisk. So plus, as we know, is nothing but the concatenation operator. We can use this concatenation operator so that we can join one tuple with the another. Let's say here we have taken T1, which is holding set of values 10, 20, 30. T2 is another tuple holding 40, 50, 60. Now applying this concatenation operator, that is T1 plus T2, which is going to generate a new tuple, say T3, where all these two elements, all the elements of both these tuples have been concatenated. So this is our resultant having all the 6 elements. Now multiplication operator, which is otherwise known as your repetition operator, we can use it for repeating the items of a tuple. Let's say we have taken a tuple holding these 3 elements 10, 20, 30. So here I am using repetition operator. This 3 indicates I am going to repeat these 3 elements 3 times. As a result, the T2, which the new tuple that is created, is going to carry 10, 20, 30 3 times because we asked to repeat by 3 times. Now let's look into the various operations that can be performed on a tuple. So these are the various functions that we can apply on tuple, which are more or less similar to what we have seen earlier in the list operations, your len, count, index, sorted, and something like mean and max. Now when it comes to len function, as the name indicates, this function is used to calculate the total number of elements present in the tuple. Let's say we have taken a tuple n holding this set of elements. Now when I am going to apply len of n, it is going to find out how many elements are present. So which is nothing but 4 here. Now similarly, the count function we can use to count the number of occurrences of a specified item in the tuple. So here let's say we have taken a tuple n holding this set of elements. Now I'm just trying to find out the count of 1. So how many times 1 is present in this tuple? So as we can see, 1 is present 2 times here, hence the outcome is 2. Similarly, if I want to count how many times 2 is present in this, so there is 1, 2, 3 and 4 times. So the next function is your index function. So index function is going to return the index of the first occurrence of the specified item. So if the item is present only once, its index will be written. If at all the item is available more than once, then the very first occurrence of that item will be written as an index. So let's say here we have taken n equal to this set of elements. Now I'm calculating or finding the index of 1. So 1 is available here at index 0. So the index is 0 here. Now index of 2, because 2 is appearing multiple times here. So out of these multiple occurrences, the first occurrence is here, whose index is 1. Hence, we are going to get this as 1. Now, similar index of 3, again 2 times it is appearing. So, here is the first occurrence, whose index is nothing but your 5. Now, in case you try to find out index of a particular element which is not present in the tuple, so you are going to get some exception, that is called your value error. The next function is your sorted function. The sorted function in Python we can use to sort the elements of a tuple. But as we understand, tuples are immutable. Hence, whenever you apply sorted function on a particular tuple, it is going to create a new list. So always do remember the outcome of sorted function. Okay, I mean whenever you apply sorted function on a tuple, the outcome is going to produce a list, not a tuple. And this list is going to contain the sorted elements. Okay, because it is tuple is completely immutable, so I cannot make any changes. So we are going to get a new list where the all items are sorted. Let's say we have taken a tuple here holding this set of values. I am applying now sorted on this particular tuple. So now when I'm going to print this sorted list, so I'm going to get all the elements in the form of a list. You can see this square bracket which indicates this is a list, and in this all these elements are in ascending order. So if you want the elements to be arranged in a descending order, so we can take some additional parameter, that is your reverse, and you can set it to true. So calling the sorted on a particular tuple which has this list of elements, and then you can use this second attribute, that is your reverse, and you can set it to true. So by default here, even though we have not used a reverse, by default it is going to be read as false here. So unless until you make it true, you will not be getting the descending order of the elements. So once again, this is also going to produce the same list like square brackets, and in this all the elements are in a descending order. So if you do not use this reverse, by default it is going to give you the ascending order of the elements. If we set this to true, we will be getting only the descending order as per our requirement. So the mean and max function, as the name indicates, they are going to find out the minimum and the maximum value present in a tuple. So when we apply this mean and max functions, it should be applied on a comparable data types. Like suppose we have all numbers present or all strings are available in the tuple. Let's say we have taken a tuple with this set of elements. Now I am going to apply this main function on this tuple, and it is going to return me the minimum value out of these numeric values present in the tuple, which is nothing but 1. So when I'm printing this mean underscore value, I'm going to get 1. Similarly, if I'm going for applying max function on the same tuple, it is going to find out of the existing elements here which one is the maximum value. So that is nothing but 9 here. So we are going to get 9 out of it. So your tuple packing is one of the way how do you create a new tuple. So what we do in tuple packing is we allow to create a tuple by assigning multiple values to a single variable. So for example, when I'm writing say some variable here, my tuple equal to say 1, 2, 3. So we have given some multiple values to a single variable. So this automatically is going to create a tuple here. You can see the output which is enclosed within this parenthesis, which indicates that yes, this is a tuple. Now, what are the key features here? So automatically, even though I'm not using any tuple here, only by separating this list of elements, it is able to create a tuple without any parenthesis. No parenthesis used. If you want to use, you can use it, but without parenthesis, we can create it. Secondly, you can assign multiple values to a single variable using tuple packing. So there is no limit here how many elements you want to separate with the help of command. All those are going to be part of this variable in the form of a tuple here. The tuple unpacking is just the reverse process of tuple packing. So we can unpack a tuple and assign its elements to separate set of values. Now let's say we have a tuple like this holding 4 elements. So now when I am going to unpack this, because there are 4 elements are available, so I need 4 variables to hold them. So as a result, you can see here we are writing the set of variables a, b, c, d separated by comma equal to this tuple. So in this context, what will happen? The first element will be assigned to the first variable. Second one will be assigned to the second. Similarly, third and fourth are going to take up the third and fourth element present in the tuple. So when I'm trying to display the values of A, B, C and D, so we'll be getting A as 10, B as 20, C as 30 and D as 40. But one thing we should be very careful here. Whenever you go for unpacking, we have to ensure that the number of elements and the number of variable must be matching. Okay. If you do not do so, if suppose for example here I have 4 elements here, but I have taken only 3 elements, I mean 3 variables. So there will be a exception called your value error. So we should always take care that the number of variables and the values present in the tuple must be same. So you can see here I have taken a tuple holding 4 elements, but I am trying to use only 3 variables. So this is going to raise the exception where it is going to come like value error, because we have used less number of variables to unpack this particular tuple. So just like list comprehension, we also have tuple comprehension. But tuple comprehension is not directly supported by Python, because in case of list comprehension, if you remember, we have created another list as per the requirement. But here, though it is allowing us to go on using this tuple comprehension, but the result is not going to be a tuple. Rather, the resultant will be an object that is called your generator object, on which we will read in the further videos. Now you can see the syntax, like we use expression here, and for some variable, then in and some range. So here the range is going to produce 1, 2 up to 3. So on each of the values I am applying x to the power 2. I mean finding 1 square, then 2 square and 3 square. Okay. Now you can see when I'm trying to check what is the type of this T that I has prepared. Okay, this is not a tuple. Rather, you can see we are going to get something like class followed by generator. Here I'm not getting any tuple. So the outcome of your tuple comprehension is not a tuple, rather it is a generator. And of course, this for loop is just going to print the list of values that are generated out of it, that is 1, 4 and 9.